Free to play, but of course, if you want the good stuff, pay to play.
I hate games like that.
That's like how they're all going now. Uh-oh. Not child friendly.
Triple A.
Welcome to Fortune Corporation's Cable Training Simulator.
It just basically doesn't care. It doesn't try to hide what it is, and it just simply says, you know, you probably have an issue with blood and guts, and we're going to take it to a new level. Now here's a new one that we're really intrigued over the possibilities of this one. Really intrigued.
That to the Evolve game.
That definitely looks like a lot of fun. Now, this one should be no surprise to anybody. You got to show it.
Why does he look like he's from the mix of Gears of War and Uncharted? As Angry Joe called it,
Well, I've seen more, but September on that one, folks. So looking forward to definitely seeing what they have. So keeping the
There we go.
playable and PlayStation truck, by the way. They also have a Sonic the Hedgehog one that just came out the other week called Team Sonic Racing. I've been trying that. I am not very good at the racing games, but I was happy that I finished fourth in my first time playing online. So cover the kids' eyes.
Team Sonic Racing is actually pretty fun. Especially when I play with friends. This is the game I think everyone's waiting for.
tell you a little bit about a special multiplayer feature for Doom Eternal. Apparently there's a new multiplayer mode where, say you're playing the campaign, your buddy can opt to come in online, but your buddy is going to be a demon or something like that. So I'm hoping that's one you can opt in or out of. So can you imagine someone going, oh, I finally cleared this level, I'm actually going to make it. You come in as a baron or something like that and then ruin his whole day. I'm thinking that's a selling point right there.
That does sound funny.
So, next up.
Yes. You better not screw this up, EA. See some gameplay E3.
Yeah. Well, EA's not going to be at E3. They're doing their EA Play thing a week before, so hopefully.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's abandoning E3.
What's that?
Disney needs to cut EA out of the contract.
Well, if this.
said it would be no DLC.
Oh, yeah, we always do. So, we have a couple other more minor trailers for later, but I wanted to make sure we got the big news and had plenty of time for your questions and answers. So let's start off with the obvious one. You notice there was no Call of Duty trailer, which is unusual because we have it by now. Well, there's a little bit of a shakeup in the world of Call of Duty, and possibly a few people are more than a bit upset over this. Okay, so going in the Wayback Machine, you may remember about the mass layoffs at Activision Blizzard. Yeah. Well, this year's game is called Modern Warfare. Not Modern Warfare 4, Modern Warfare. It's kind of a soft reboot. Activision will not be at E3. They will not have a booth. Usually, they have a meeting room. They'll at least meet with members of the press and show off the game in private. They are not doing that. A couple of select interviews, they pretty much told us their spots are already filled. They've apparently been meeting with certain streamers and stuff like that, giving them a sneak, probably making all sorts of deals similar to the way Apex Legends. I'm not sure if you're aware, but some streamers were paid about $1 million to stream Apex Legends, which is why it shot off the charts so fast and then dropped like a rock really quick. Checks stopped coming, they stopped playing and went back to the other things. So, yeah. Well, here's the other shakeup. Next year's game was to be done by Sledgehammer and Raven. They have 3 teams that make Call of Duty games. Well, apparently Sledgehammer and Raven weren't seeing eye to eye. So Activision showed them the door and said, hey, Treyarch, you've got the 2021 game, right? Yeah, great. Well, you now got the 2020 game and it's Black Ops 5. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's where we are with the world of Call of Duty. On the bright side, we've been told the trailer should hit soon, possibly as soon as next week. So, for what it's worth, I can tell you internally the folks at Activision are extremely excited about it. They've been apparently more excited about this than they've had any recent Call of Duty game. So, you know, it does have a campaign, I can tell you that. So for something that hasn't been officially announced, Sony has definitely been dropping a lot of hints about the next console. We have been told what you probably will expect if they don't do a state of play thing. Sony also is not joining E3.
Yeah.
So no showcase, no booth presence. The floor map looks rather interesting. We were sitting here going, all right, well, why don't we have any of the big boys asking for meetings? And then because certain big boys aren't going to be there. But we have some interesting meetings booked already, so we'll definitely have some coverage for you. And I know Bethesda's there. They're not doing meetings, but we're hoping we might actually get some hands-on with Doom Eternal. So that'd be good. Last year we got hands-on with Rage 2, and that's definitely been worth it. Except for the no multiplayer, we're still left over that. But that's me. PlayStation 5. So basically this is what we're expecting. At the PlayStation Expo this year, when they do hopefully announce a date, they're probably going to make the big reveal. We've been hearing stories that they've been showing about how fast it is, how something that takes 14 seconds to load on the PS4 Pro takes fractions of a single second to load on this new system, which they aren't saying what it's called, but on PS5, let's be serious about it. We're hearing the rumor of November 2020 is what the industry analysts are saying. The rumor is price tag $499, considering it's supposed to be 8K compatible, fully backwards compliant to at least the PS4. That's pretty impressive. We've also been told that even though there are new PSVR things coming, the current PSVR will be working on it. By the way, everyone laughed at Sony when they got into VR. Guess what the #1 VR platform in the world is right now?
Sony.
Yeah, because you don't have to have all this custom hardware for it. You plug it in and it works. And they are cranking a lot of stuff out. I'm actually playing one called Dick Wild 2. It is the funniest thing in the world. It's just you shoot a bunch of redneck mutated zombies and creatures as you float down a river on a raft. And it's just like the craziest thing. And I even got my wife to play it, so there you go. The new PSVR enhancements for VR are going to include eye tracking. That's something apparently they're very big on. So we'll get to see that. And You know, I'm curious. A lot of people are saying, how are they going to do 8K? But, well, that's the rumor. Now, you know, you can all say true 8K, resident 8K, you know, checkerboarding. It's 8K, so we'll be seeing a lot about that soon. I can tell you that we got an alien shooter coming, and we're like, fingers crossed we're going to see something at E3. We don't know much about it other than it's made by some of the people who did City of Heroes, Champions Online, I believe it's Borderlands, right? One of them was? Yeah. So, you know, we're intrigued by it. I've been told while it is a shooter, it is more of a massive scale shooter, so I'm hoping it might be what we all thought Colonial Marines would be, that allowed us to take squads in and take on the aliens. So happy that, or maybe you can actually play as the aliens, which would be fun. We haven't done that for a while. You're going to probably have questions about Valve and their situation. With the rise of all the competition, i.e. Epic Game Store and all of that, we've been told Valve is actually looking to start publishing some games again. So, you know, before you start thinking Half-Life 3 is coming, you know, we're going to see it. The last time we were told Valve was going to publish a game, we got all excited, and it was that card game, Artifact, and it didn't do very well. So we talked about Call of Duty, and of course, by the way, anybody here, I know you do, Michael, anybody here have an Xbox One X, not an Xbox One, the One X, okay, you probably want to come and see us at the table when you get the chance. We have something you're going to want to see. It's, yeah. So, before we get on to any other stuff, it's time for some questions, so let's bring them up, yes?
Any news about the Last of Us 2 game?
Last of Us 2, I'm glad you asked that. I actually talked to my rep at Naughty Dog about 3 days ago, actually. It was just, you know, how'd your vacation go, all of that, when's your panel, things like that. And they didn't have any trailer. I asked, I said, do you have any trailer or anything for us to give them? They said, not right now. So I'm guessing that is going to be a big reveal for later at the next State of Play. A lot of people thought, oh, it's coming this year, it's coming this year. I'm starting to think that's not the case. In fact, I heard a rumor, and it's just a rumor. One of the rumors is it's actually going to be a PS5 launch title, and it's going to be one of those that there's the PS4 version and a PS5 version, and they're both going to launch roughly at the same time. That's one rumor. But as I said, very unconfirmed, very wild rumor. Yes?
Do you have any information on what exactly Xbox and Sony are teaming up on for this cloud software I've been hearing about?
That's the million-dollar question. Yeah. We're expecting to hear something in E3, at least from that, because that was a surprise that Xbox and Sony actually agreed to work together on something.
I looked out my window, there were pigs flying outside.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm like, all right, you know, is it cross-play final? True cross? No, but go figure. Yes. Did you have it?
Any news on Cyberpunk?
Again, that's another one we're going to be hearing more about at E3. I understand it's, you know, having a lot of refinement done to it, but they're keeping really quiet on it right now. That's as people who've seen this panel before knows. You know, I work in the game industry, have forever, and I actually had my hand in designing some games, and that's pretty frightening. In fact, well, I'll save that for the movie panel. But yeah, let's just say there is a few of my film credits about certain video game movies that I'd like to say the check cleared, I'm okay, but I volunteered for it. And yeah, that I should have remembered what I learned in the military, never volunteer. But you know, it is what it is. And there is, at this time of year, it's very tough because E3 is June 11th this year. So a lot of these video game companies are basically don't talk to us, we're working on E3. Unless they want something or unless they're trying to book a meeting with you, they're not answering anything right now. I mean, there's a few, but as you see, some of the trailers were new, some of them were from a couple weeks ago. They're just basically, you know, I remember some years they would say, okay, look, this is the trailer we're going to launch next week, our pre-E3 trailer. You can show it, don't let anyone record it. They're not even doing that stuff anymore. They're all just circling the wagons, keeping the heads down, and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll see. It's just a weird thing because you saw like the Ghost Recon there. That was one that normally they'd hold for their showcase. All of a sudden they do that. So everyone's saying now, well, what have they got for their showcase if they tip their hand at that? It's a weird industry sometimes, and you're going to get in trouble for saying it. So any other questions? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Do you know if there'll be any other launch titles for the 5?
Not yet, it's too early. What will happen with that? Yeah, what basically happens is when they announce the system, usually right about then they will announce about 5 to 10 launch titles. Because part of it is whoever is working on it, officially there is no PlayStation 5. Officially this is the console that's going to be our console for the next few years. Now, mysteriously, Sony people are going on records showing off tech reels of this is Spider-Man loading on the new system. This is what it's going to have. These are the hardware specs, but officially there is no console. So when they do make the announcement, that's part of the trick because getting back to the question about The Last of Us, one of the rumors is that's why you haven't seen any new footage, because the next time you see it, it'll be running on the new system. And if they show a clip that looks really high tech, really advanced graphics running on people are going to say that's not running on the Pro. Or that's one of these specially created film clips. Kind of like, remember how we had with Aliens Colonial Marines, where it looked a lot better than it really was because it wasn't actual gameplay. So, sorry, so you had your hand up.
Gears of War 5.
We expect something at the E3 showcase. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Do we have any news on that, on Hideo Kojima's new game, Death Stranding?
Oh, jeez. Well, Death Stranding. Okay. Well, we know it's still happening. We have no idea what it's about. Basically, we all thought, okay, E3 is going to come, Sony's going to do their showcase, and they're going to tell us when it's coming out. And then Sony's not coming to the States. So, the belief is, I'll get you next. The belief is, circling back to Sony again, they're not doing the showcase at E3, they're not having a booth. That's been pretty well established. We believe, have any of you, do you know about their thing, State of Play? Where they do these little 15-minute webcasts and stuff like that? The belief is they will either do one before, during, or after E3 because that was the big question. I know you're the dominant console in the marketplace. How are you going to let the biggest game showcase out? And we think it's a lot of people trying to say maybe we can control it a little better by doing it ourselves versus being in a showcase with competition. So the belief is they will do one. Now whether it's going to be announcing new games or that, who knows? Because it's very weird right now, like I said. You look at companies and say, oh, they're not going to talk until E3, and then they go and spill their guts. And you're like, wow, so what do you have at E3? Either they have something up their sleeve or they show up and it's, yeah, you already saw our stuff, it's over there, go play it if you want. It's like, but don't ask too many questions. Go ahead.
Do you know if the PlayStation Experience is going to be coming?
I'm sorry, which one?
The PlayStation Experience in December?
Yeah, that's what we're hearing, rumor. The belief is it would be back. They didn't do it last year, and the belief is that it is coming back this December, and that's where they're going to show off the new console. They're going to make the formal, this is the PS5. And a lot of people said, well, why aren't they doing an experience? Because basically, that's what we heard, was that they did not have anything really major new to announce. And it was too early to announce the PS5, and if you announced anything new, you're going to run into that, well, gee, that doesn't look like it's running on the Pro. And then that's what we all went by, and then a month later they did their first State of Play, and they showed off the Iron Man game that's coming to the PS4. It's an Iron Man VR game.
What?
Oh, you pop on the helmet and you're basically Iron Man in VR. You get to fly and the whole thing.
And now I have to go and buy Big's VR.
And down in price, you can get, I think the base kit's like $199 now, which for those of us that bought it at launch, it was worth it. Believe me, it's worth it. And I'm not one of those have to get the latest tech when it first comes out. Any other questions? Believe me, I'd much rather hear. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'll get you next. Go ahead.
Do we know anything else about any other E3 presentations?
Yes. All right. Yes. What is coming at E3? That we can tell you, other than the fact that we will be there. So, Microsoft is doing one. They're supposed to announce the new Xbox console there. Yes, they also have a new one coming, but the general buzz between the Xbox new console and the PS5, guess where all the attention is? There you go. Because they actually get their exclusives to market, but that's, that's another story. Although that being said, we've heard rumors someone's trying to resurrect Scalebound. I'm like, yeah, believe it when I see it. So, you know, we all remember you remember their last real exclusive to make it to market, Crackdown 3, and we all heard how great that was. So, go figure. But anyway, they're doing one, Ubisoft is doing one.
Bethesda
is definitely doing one, but they're apparently not going to show Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield. That's the rumor.
I think they did confirm Cyber though, right?
Yeah. And but you know, they say that, but saying it and doing it. I'll get you right next. God, what is the other one I'm forgetting? EA is doing EA Play, but you know, that's something different. There is Nintendo will do the Treehouse thing, but that's, you know, yeah, it's just basically that. Those are the main ones we have right now. You had one, and then you had one. Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think about the possibility of getting a Halo Infinite trailer this year?
I think it's a good chance at E3. I do think, because here's the thing. You know, I hate to make it sound like it's all dominated by these two, but that's kind of the way it is. Sony's not there. Microsoft's basically thinking this is our chance. And with, you know, all of us are sitting there analyzing this whole thing in the industry going, why would you pull out the biggest gaming event on the planet to let your chief competition go there unopposed, where we all know they're going to drop news of their new console? And then after we thought about it for a while, because Sony knows they've got a better system, they've got better exclusives, and they've got something else to drop, and I think they're basically gonna, you know, I go back to when the last two consoles were announced. Microsoft was up first. They did their showcase and announced the Xbox One at $499. Apparently, in another part of the town, Sony was rehearsing for their showcase that night. Apparently, the moment the news broke, they started literally running up and down the aisles, high-fiving each other, because they knew, they said we knew we had them, and we knew they were dead out of the box right there, because we were coming out with a better system, better exclusives at $100 less, and we knew that they were done. And that evening, they unveiled it, dropped the price at $399. Guess where all the pre-orders went? And yeah, they've sold significantly more than the Xbox and the Switch. So the belief is that Sony's got something up their sleeve, and they're basically waiting for Microsoft to tip their hand, and then they're going to come in and top them. Yes. Oh, his first. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Is there any news on the new Xbox something? Or?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, obviously, it's going to be, you know, kind of like what Sony's saying. It's going to be faster. It's going to have backwards compatibility, and that's basically all they're saying right now. And, you know, they're fighting over the price and this sort of thing, but yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Were you trying to finish?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, okay. The question I want to ask is, are we aware of what the companies that Microsoft bought, of what games that they're going to showcase there exactly?
Not yet. This is, like I said, this is the time. We have not even had invites go out to the Sony, Microsoft showcase yet. They're being, some of them are getting very stingy a little bit on this. We basically, they'll probably get mad at me, but I'll say, okay, so this is basically what we've had invites for that I can confirm. There's a couple that I can't say, but Dying Light 2, we've been asked to come in and actually take a good look at it. Warner Brothers has come and said, we got a new game by this company, but we can't tell you what it is. I can tell you that the company has a history of making Lego games, so I'm assuming it's a new Lego game. But mostly it's a lot of indies and stuff like that. I mean, we got this one that I'm really intrigued by called Eater, where basically you play a killer shark and your job is to terrorize the town. And I'm like, yeah, that you know, create as much carnage as you can. But it's little stuff like that, because you're at the point where nobody wants to come and book a meeting and say, come see our game blank, because even though they tell you not to talk about it, they'll tell their friend post it, and it's all out, hey, so-and-so's dropping this game. A lot of them are trying very hard to make sure that nobody knows what's there, and they'll, you know, reveal it at that time. Yeah.
Anything on the rumor about the new version of the Switch? the Switch.
Yeah. There's apparently a new version of the Switch coming that is going to have higher resolution graphics and stuff like that. They're apparently trying to make a 4K Switch because one of the biggest problems with the Switch is it doesn't have the firepower to properly display a lot of these new games. And so, you know, it's the old, well, see, hey, we're running it, but right, at a lower graphic setting and a lower frame rate. So they're trying to address that by coming out with a more powerful Switch that essentially will allow them to play all of the games, what they say will be on par with the current consoles. The problem with that is, by the time that comes to market, guess what's going to be knocking on the door? The more powerful consoles.
The
So
new
they're back-
Xbox, the
yeah.
new PlayStation.
How in the world are they gonna get 4K gaming portable like the Switch is?
Yeah, go figure.
That doesn't seem technologically
Yep,
possible.
exactly. But you know, talk is cheap. We'll see what they do. Yes,
Any news about the remastered Final Fantasy VII?
it's still in the works. We're hoping. You know, the Final Fantasy games are just like, they're kind of like the Logan's Run remake film. I've been hearing about this for so long. I keep hearing it's going into production next week. I am literally with them. I'll believe it when I see it. Because, you know, in production could be nothing more than, hey, wouldn't it be great to go make one of these? Okay, great, do it. You know, yes.
Is there anything more on Netflix trying to break into gaming?
Yeah, we've been, that is happening. They basically are shopping their titles around, and they actually are going to be holding a conference at E3. So they're, you know. But that being said, we also got an email today saying the Simpsons producers are holding a conference at E3. And it's like, all right, sure.
Oh boy.
So, anything else? Who else has got something? Because I know we've got more to share. Yes.
Did they bring any of the old Nintendo games back into the Switch? Like
Not that we've
Zelda?
heard yet, but you know, they always look to kick something back. I mean, this is the time where you get the action and the reaction. You get all these people that say, okay, this is our big E3 news, we're all set, and then the competition blows them away. So some of them just say, well, we'll go with what we have. Some of them say, oh, geez, we can't compete with this, and they don't put it out, or they delay it and start playing around with it, and that's what makes things really, really fun when they delay things and start tinkering with them, because we all expected the Borderlands 3 announcement last year, to give you an idea. I flat out, I had my rep at E3 flat out told me, not E3, but my rep at 2K flat out told me, sorry, I've been incommunicado, I've been working on the next Borderlands game. And I said to him, am I allowed to put this out? And he said, yeah, do it. Then they released Borderlands 2 PSVR. And I thought, oh God, that's the new Borderlands. Right after that, they said, there'll be no Borderlands, we won't have a presence at E3. And we're like, what the heck? You know, it's a new Borderlands game. And so basically, they, instead of waiting for E3, held their own press conference to announce it. So you're seeing a real shift where people are kind of like, maybe I can control the news better by doing my own press conference and live streaming it versus being one of many over 3-4 days at a show like this. So go figure. But of course, you know, obviously here's all the things here. We're going to be pictures and video and everything straight from the E3 floor. And I can tell you one thing. You know how E3 is open to the public now, right? You can buy tickets and go, but they limit it to like 15,000 people. Now, the first year they did it, it was absolute chaos because they came literally walking right in the aisle, right as you go in the door, and the walkways similar to these conventions. We couldn't get by. It was like this, you know, just trying to get to your appointment was a massive, you know, a 20-foot walk. It was so bad, my wife said, I'm back in the press room. That's it. And we'd go up to the check-in counters for our appointments, and there'd be people like, I want to play the game. They're like, okay, are you a member of the press? No, I want to play the game. Well, sir, that line around the booth, all the way around the booth, that's the line to play Call of Duty. Oh, man, F that. I didn't pay my money. And, you know, they had a lot of that going on. And then the media was upset going, well, you know, we couldn't get to our appointments easy, so they decided last year, and it worked very well. You guys get a 2-hour head start the first 2 days. We will not let them in. And Michael will tell you we had a little bit of fun with that. Not taunting them, but they were all lined up under awnings outside. They didn't let them in the lobby, you know, overcrowding it. And so we were all walking by, hey guys, you know, sticking our head out, how you doing? And they were all in good spirits because they had them. But we got 2 hours, and so our strategy was, we're gonna go hit up the people we do not have meetings and appointments with. Because why waste time fighting through crowds when they're already there, and, you know, when they come in, you push through, get your appointment. We ran straight to the Bethesda booth. That was our first one. We got right in, and it's always fun when they give you an ice cream cone from a mutant.
Yep.
And they get you in to play Rage 2, but that's how they did it. But we can tell you the next day we went in to go into the Fallout bunker party, and what were we? We were in line maybe 5 minutes after the door opened, and it was already like a 2-hour line. It was, I don't know how they did it, but some people were literally, so, you know. But we're probably going to hit up Bethesda first, just in case there's a, I'm hoping to get a look at the new Wolfenstein trailer, which is the one that is two twins. It's a co-op one, and then of course we obviously want to play Doom and see what else they have to announce. But anyway, I digress. On to the next questions. Yes?
What original content titles are you looking forward to?
Original content titles that I'm looking forward to. Well, obviously I'm looking forward to the Alien game, and I know that's not original, but it's a franchise, but I'm just, in my mind, I'm
Just
thinking,
not sequel.
we're ready for a good shooter. It's been a while since we had a good original Alien game. I'm intrigued by what Starfield is going to be, but you know, that's still a ways off. I'm really intrigued by, I go back to Call of Duty. I'm intrigued by what they're going to do with the reboot. I'm intrigued by Fallen Jedi, a company that basically made their name. You know, people forget, Respawn was literally the people who founded Infinity Ward who did Call of Duty. These are guys who did Call of Duty, they did Titanfall, they made their names doing shooters and multiplayer games. So now all of a sudden we get a story-driven Jedi Knight game that has no multiplayer to it. I'm extremely intrigued to see what they do with that. I'm intrigued to see some of these franchises that have been lying around dormant that apparently are going to be revamped, getting a shot. All right, I'll tell you this. I did it yesterday in the TV show. Sony is opening their own film and TV studio for the PlayStation has their own film and TV studio. They're apparently trying to still get an Uncharted movie off the ground, but they've already announced an animated Twisted Metal series is in the works. Now, doesn't take a genius to figure out of all their titles, why would they do a Twisted Metal thing when they haven't done a Twisted Metal game for the PS4? Well, that tells me that somewhere they're kicking around to do, I mean, think about it. Why would you do one now over all the other stuff? Why wouldn't you do a Ratchet and Clank animated series, or, you know, even say, let's do it, we can't get an Uncharted movie made, let's make an animated Uncharted. You're doing Twisted Metal, that tells me they're at least kicking the tires to see if the franchise is viable. I would actually love one in VR, that'd be fantastic. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, there you go. But that's just me, I have problems. I'm intrigued by the rumors about Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm hearing a lot of stories about female protagonist or antagonist, is depending on how you play. I definitely don't play kind. There's a lot of stuff coming to Red Dead Online, I can tell you that, including poker, which I of course got in trouble for asking the hard question, which was, well, if I lose the hand, do I get to shoot everyone at the table dead? And so they're like, you have a different way of thinking. It's like, yep, my wife would definitely agree with that one. My son, my granddaughter, I always laugh at them, and she's like, honey, you're related, right? It's like, oh, yeah. So, the other thing too that I'm kind of looking forward to is that I'm hoping that we're going to see a move away from this mobile dependency, and I'm a little concerned about it because we saw the Diablo thing and everyone, oh god, Diablo. And then of course there was the push with Call of Duty's got a mobile game coming now. And I did find this interesting. You know how when BlizzCon is announced and usually boom, tickets gone like that? Apparently they didn't sell out like that. They had a lot slower ticket sales. So I think the fallout from the mobile game announcement. Now, of course, we've heard they're announcing a new Diablo game soon, but it was basically, if you believe the rumors, put into production based on the negative reaction to the last showcase. So, yes?
Something funny about Blizzard, a few days ago for StarCraft 2, they made out another co-op commander, which is their little special issue thing.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell, almost no one really moved forward on it. Just
Yeah, well, they upset a lot of people last year. They upset a lot of people. You know, I know, media people like, you know, we came all the way out here for the show. You know, like for me, when I used to cover BlizzCon, for me, it was all about the showcase. It was all about this is what we've got coming up. And I actually told them, they decided a couple of years ago that they don't really want a lot of the media. They want e-sport people and streamers. So even though you've been covering for years, they weren't credentialing out the media. And their response was, well, you can always buy the online pass. And my thought was, you know, Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, everybody, when they do these showcases, they stream them free over the internet. And I even said to him, I said, well, I get that, you know, the esports and all of that, but why don't you stream the opening showcase free for everyone on the internet? Oh yeah, we'll look into that. They're like, well, why don't you at least give it to the media? You know, you don't want to credential us, but you want us to cover it. Let us cover the 2-hour showcase, and oh, well, yeah. And this is what happens. People come, they think there's going to be a big announcement, and they announce a mobile game, which, to be honest, isn't even a new game. Apparently, it's a reskinning of a game that's already been out in China for a while. They just decided to put a Diablo overlay over it. Yes?
About that, I think I know why everybody's going to mobile gaming. I wonder if there's anything that we can do to stop it, and that is because there's money out there with practices that if you do go on a paid game, as E3 has pointed out, causes an uproar.
Right. And see, the trick to this too is you have to remember the legislation that's going around there. You have a lot of politicians around the world who are basically trying to get bills passed to make loot crates and pay to win illegal, because they say it's a form of gambling. Now, how long until they start swinging that over to the mobile games, whose big standpoint is, go ahead and play, it doesn't cost you anything. But if you want to really advance and get up there, you're going to have to pay. How long until they start? I guarantee you, the moment they start cracking down on all these free-to-play games with all these, oh, you need more gold, well, go ahead and buy it. It's going to change things. It's going to change
I
things.
think they're going to be a lot harder to do because they've had a lot longer standing for what they've been doing, among other things.
Right.
Two is technically you don't have to put any money in to start playing the game.
No, and
They're
that's-
enough to have a backbone.
And that's the big thing. And the main thing about it is it's a simple matter of, they look around and say, okay, not everyone's got a high-end PC, not everyone's got a PS4, not everyone's got an Xbox or a Switch. But gee, it seems like almost everybody has got a smartphone or a tablet. So this means we can play this, and they can play the game of, well, you've got a PS4, you've got a Switch, you've got a PC. Well, that's not an issue. On these things, everybody can play everybody. Yes.
So, with that being the case, and also building off of your question, Matt, wouldn't the best way to prevent mobile gaming, if that's their claim to fame, is everyone can play it, wouldn't the best course of action be to move towards cloud gaming, since that would essentially do the same thing?
And that's what some people think the Sony and Microsoft thing is. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Well, we have a couple more, and obviously if you have more questions, you can obviously catch me at the booth, or we have that little gap in between, but I wanted to make sure I get the last two.
In an age of lawlessness and despair, the empire of man lay in ruins, torn asunder by civil war, and racked by famine and plague. And so in the year 2301, the Kurgan warlord named Aspar united the savage tribes of the Chaos Spaces and made war on the realms of men.
Just got that in like late last night. They sent it for us, so I'm like, yeah, nothing like waiting till the last minute, guys. Same with this one.
What is this, Destiny? Or Star Wars? Turn around. Turn around now. I've never played that game.
Yes. So there we go. So we get a half-hour break right now, and then we will start